Hi guys, my name is Efe Tommy and I just sip the tea on Tea with Tate podcast. You gotta stay connected to this one.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Tea with Tay Pod. You know what we do, tea no hot and not be tea with Tay. Guys, I've been having an amazing time. The season is going well. I'm looking at the comments. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for making my comeback very easy and welcoming for me. I really appreciate you. Well, today my guest is someone who I would call a creative individual who's not confined to one form of creative expression. From running a boutique PR agency to being a host on TV and creating some of the most successful and luxurious lifestyle experiences, my guest, Efe Tommy, is who he thinks he is. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, my Tea with Tay.
Finally,
I made it here. And I think one thing that is very exciting sitting on here is the fact that you and I are very good friends.
Yeah.
And I have been there from the very beginning of Tea with Tay. I remember you sending me your very first Tea with Tay post on Instagram. And I'm like, give it a shout. People would die of laughter. I mean, here we are.
Yeah,
Quite
4 seasons
exciting.
after. This is 4th season.
Yes.
You know, when I first started,
I'm even talking about your Instagram post where you have to sip the teacup. The very first video.
Oh, yes, that's a
you
while
sent
ago.
me. That's a while ago.
That's
And
a while ago.
I'm talking. Being proud is the least of it. I'm so proud of you. Like
Thank
you
you
have
so
done
much.
and created such a beautiful community around the people that follow you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Efe. Thank you. Welcome on the show.
Absolute pleasure. Thank
I've been
you.
trying to get you on the show for what? Say 2 years now?
2 years.
No.
2 years plus.
Yeah, because there's so much. You know when we talk with the gist finish.
With the gist where we're low.
Yes, so
With
my
the gist-
friend.
Yesterday night
Yes.
from Efe, I will spend only 5 minutes when I come here.
I
5 minutes to
swear to
4 hours.
God.
And we entered another location.
You know, see your story is sweet. Like, if I
sweet.
owe you for story,
Too sweet.
oh my goodness.
That's what they tell me, and not true.
Yes.
They say if I dey give gist,
Not be yo.
Carry your wrapper for ground.
Apropos.
I
I love
agree.
it for you.
I
But
agree.
yeah, you see the speaking English, this vibe we're on, right? Let's get into it, right? Let's start
course.
from the beginning. Warri. You know I will do my history and background
Of course,
checks,
of
right?
course.
Tell me about growing up, because also you're very special. Like you're not one of the Warri people. You understand?
I agree. There's always this.
Just we're different.
Yes, we are unique.
Unique is the word.
Yes,
you know?
unique is the word.
And growing up in Warri must have been very interesting because it was interesting for me.
It was one of
Tell
the
me
most
about-
interesting part of my life.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Growing up in Warri, I grew up in a family that is very, very, we are very different.
Right.
And I think from a very young age, I've always seen myself as a different but unique person. I have always seen myself to have a unique personality.
Yes.
You know, so growing up for me, I never saw myself as different. I never felt bad because my friends are all going to play football and I want to follow my mom to the market. My mom was into fabrics and beads in Main Market. Main Market is like the Balogun market
Yes, it is.
of Warri, of Delta State, you know. So I didn't care. Even in the market that time. My mom's friend, my mom used to, her store used to be on a line called Ufoma line.
Yeah,
And that line
that's
had
popular
all,
line.
popular line, all the designers. They used to call it designer line because all the tailors, all the designers, right? So if my mom sells lace for you, for instance, she'll just look around. Madam Queen, take this lace and you go deliver this lace. So I was so conversant with that life. Even up to today when I go to Warri, I always want to go to Main Market just to relieve back those experiences and everything.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I went to Federal Government College Warri, boarding house. That also exposed me to a different kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, enjoying other people's view to life, view to
mixing with
things.
different, yeah.
Yes, he gave me a very wider spectrum as to what life is about at that age.
Yeah,
you know,
right,
I was very
right.
fast. I was one of my first people to jump on internet, to join Facebook, to join Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
Remember those times and everything? My
Yeah.
friends were living in Shell Estate, Warri, Ejeba, and
Yeah.
that was like where, you know, the
Ajebotas,
Ajebotas
yeah.
used to live in Warri.
Yeah.
So those were my friends and
Right.
everything. So growing up, I knew there was a certain way I saw my life. You know,
Right.
I believe so strongly in visualizing your life. I was asking you this day before yesterday, do
Yeah.
you daydream? You know,
Yes.
where I was saying to you that I daydream, I think about things. I
Right.
visualize how I want this event to go. I visualize how I want to be at this party. And somehow it works for me.
Right.
You know, whatever
Right.
works for anybody works for anybody.
Yeah.
But that works for me.
Speaking of daydreaming, right? Because I also daydreamed this life.
I dream wildly, my friend.
And the reason why I kept saying, let's talk about Warri, was because, you know, the dream in Warri at the time, if you really ask me, was go to school, get a great job in one of the oil companies, Shell, NNPC, or you understand. But the daydreaming for me helped me picture that this was possible. I didn't know how, but I want to know if it was the same for you back in Warri, where you're like, with everything you're saying, there's just something about you that knows that, you know, there's more to me. I'm going to do TV, I'm going to do lifestyle, I'm going to do fashion. Did you sit to say, you know what, at some point I'm going to leave this space, I'm going to go and do other things, or it just happened to you?
I've always known that in my life. Like I said, I've always known that I was different.
Right.
But not just different like every other person is different.
Yeah.
I said to myself growing up that I am special.
Right.
I knew what I wanted.
Right.
Growing up, I used to stand in front of the mirror and I would say to myself, hi guys, welcome to my talk show. My name is Efe Oprah. I used to see myself as Oprah's first son.
Right.
Right? So I was fascinated by Oprah. And then when E! Entertainment came on DSTV Bouquet, I got so influenced by Ryan Seacrest.
Right.
So I never missed the Oscars. I never missed the Golden Globes. I was always just watching. I couldn't get over it. You know, my favorite shows on TV were TRL. My favorite show were Jerry. I loved all the shows for their own different reasons. Jerry Springer, Oprah was my favorite. You know what I mean? So I was just fascinated over TV. And then watching E! I was like, oh my God, why can't we have something like E! in Nigeria?
Right.
You know? So when the opportunity came for me to get on TV, I jumped on it, grabbed it, and ran with it with every power and might in me.
Let's talk about that opportunity, because you gave me gist yesterday, but I mean, for the sake of the audience, let's talk about it, right?
Oh, the audience will hear a lot today.
So I remember when I was like in primary 5 or just 1, you already had a TV show.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it Excite on TV?
It was Excite on TV.
On Silverbird?
It was on Silverbird. It was on AIT. It was on 27 TV stations across Nigeria.
Gagged.
Yeah.
I love
27
it.
TV stations.
So I remember somebody coming with a mohawk. That mohawk, the rain. Remember that your mohawk?
If I tell you how that mohawk came.
Sorry.
So guess what? I was in the house one day. I had dreadlocks. It was so long. So it was stressful. So I was always looking. So you know, Warri, now when you sick, they'll say, now the afro way they keep, now make you the sick.
Yes.
And everything. So my mom was always, I didn't want to hear that again. So when I was cutting my hair, prior to that, my sister was already on dreadlocks. So I'm like, let me join. If my sister is on, if I join do dreadlock, they will not shout on me because my sister is on. You know, our parents can be very into anything we are doing there.
Yes,
you cannot hide injury. You cannot stay and not continue.
They're
very invested in everything. You know. And then one day I was on the internet. Then internet was at a cyber cafe.
Yeah.
And then I saw Cyber Cafe. Or when you go buy 60 minutes for 120 naira.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
We had a
you
cyber
guys
cafe.
don't know.
We had a cyber cafe in front of my street. That cyber cafe chop my money.
Yahoo Messenger.
Jesus Christ, Yahoo Messenger. Was Yahoo Chat Room.
Yes.
Chat room.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I woke up one day. I went to Cristiano Ronaldo. I saw a picture of him. He had a mohawk. I don't know what entered my mind. I don't know the kind of juju or just went to me. I just feel, say,
this is the
I resemble Cristiano Ronaldo. Now go do mohawk. See,
Please.
that mind will carry me to do the mohawk. I still find that mind now. That level of confidence.
Yes.
I don't think I have it still now.
But when you do the mohawk, as you reach out, what's the talk?
They're not. You know, say my hair low that time. So I just start the mohawk. So it's not too quick show.
Yes.
But the barber, they carve them. If they carve the thing, they come up. So the thing, now over time, they carve the thing, bro. It come high.
Yeah.
So when I came to Lagos with it and everything, I just had the hair. It was a thing, not necessarily a thing like that. You know, just very few people. Like I seldom saw it around, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so my only friend in entertainment at the time was Derele.
Right.
So we always used to keep in touch and everything.
Yeah.
Always used to be friends. So one day Derele called me. I was in Lagos for like 3 days. He hadn't even picked my call. Derele can be very busy, you know.
Right.
And at the time, he was the only one that was getting shit done in the on-air personality space.
Yes.
You know, so I could tell how busy he was.
Yeah.
And then he reached out to me one day and said, "Oh, Efe, what are you doing?" and everything. And I'm like, "I'm in the house." He came to the house to meet me. And I was living with my cousins in Magodo. And then he picked me up and went to an office. When we got to the office, it was an argument. They were arguing it was like a countdown. You know the way E Network used to do countdowns. So that was the style of TV that Excite TV wanted to bring Nigerialized E-entertainment. So they were going to do the countdown of the sexiest female celebrities, the sexiest actors, the sexiest musicians. They wanted to do the most fashionable. Ooh, that was my thing. I was writing the script with so much excitement.
Right.
I was doing everything on TV. But then before all of this, we bumped into an argument in the studio and we started arguing. And then I was arguing there when they was arguing and everything. And my voice, for some reason, my voice was high. And typically I have a high voice. So when I'm talking sometimes it looks like I'm arguing.
Right.
But I'm not arguing, you know.
Right.
And everybody in the room was a bit quiet. So I realized in that moment, they might be listening to me. So I kept quiet too. Then 2 days later, David calls me and said to me that, "Oh, Efe, you know that place we went to yesterday, that studio, that the owner of the studio is trying to launch a TV platform and everything. I think he likes your style of talking and he would want you to be a presenter. Is that something you would want to do?" Oof. Look at God.
They wait you.
Yeah, they wait for me. And I want for
I
you.
trust
and you know, say me, I need to sit down for I don't back down from any challenge. I jumped on it immediately.
But that must have been so exciting because this is you rehearsing in front of a mirror.
Yes.
You always daydreaming.
It was like a moment for me.
Right.
This was you can't tell me anything.
You couldn't believe it.
This was the best thing that's happened to me at the time.
Right.
And everything.
Well, at the time, were you in school at the time? You were in Uniport, right? So
Yeah.
how were you able to combine
I was just
that?
doing everything. Small, I go back. Small, I go back.
Did your family
That was it and
support the
everything.
fact that you're on TV?
My family never supported it. So I was doing this. I was doing TV. I never really got the support from my brother, but because I come from a big family, right? So we are like 9 children.
Right.
But I had in a family, everybody can't be your friends. Everybody
Right.
can't be your friends in your family.
Right.
But I had my guys in my family. I had my friends in my family that, yes, we are brothers and also we are friends.
Yeah.
So if I get that support from
A few.
the ones that I consider are there for me,
Yeah.
every other person can go. It's how I see life now. If the people around me that are in my circle, if I can call my friend to talk to, vent or something, and my friend say to me that if it is well, I love you, my friend, that is okay to me. I don't pay attention to the noise.
Right. The
Yes,
negativity.
it's called the noise. I call them the noise.
Right.
I don't pay attention to the noise.
Right.
And just like that, it just like that, from recording on TV to becoming a producer, to becoming a script writer, and to being identified by BBC. And then I was sent to South Africa for training on live TV.
Right.
And moving on to hosting some of the biggest red carpet events in the country.
Right.
At the time, from the Sun City Awards to Channel O Awards
Right.
to, international gigs
That
all
was
around the
a
continent.
whole era.
It was a whole era. And another thing that, I'm that person that when I'm doing stuff, I get to a point when I be like, you know what? I think it's time to jump from this level to the next level. So I've always used to see the Future Award, which I admired so much and everything. And so I wasn't in Lagos. I just got a call from a friend of mine who was at the nominee party and said to me that, "Oh, if I'm holding your nominee certificate, you're nominated for TV Personality of the Year." What?
You couldn't believe. And Future was
Future Award
it was the Oscars.
was and still a big deal in Nigeria for
for the newer generation.
For the newer
they might not
generation,
understand
they might
that,
not understand, but Future Award was like it was everything.
Yes.
It was a big achievement.
It meant that as a young person,
you are being seen, you are being heard.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay,
once I got nominated for that, it was over for me. I never looked back.
So this is you at the peak of, not say peak, your career was really
Good.
blossoming.
Yeah.
And one day, you pack your bags and you relocate to South Africa.
Yeah.
Why did you ever make that? That must have been a tough decision because...
Very tough decision for me. I had a friend in South Africa, it's called Sylvester Chalke. Then he used to be the communications manager for MTV.
Right.
MTV Networks, right? And I admired him so much whenever he comes to Nigeria and everything. So I'm that person, if I see you and you're my friend, or you don't need to be my friend. If I admire you, you must know that I'm admiring you. Either maybe I admire you for your work ethic, for the values you stand on, for even maybe you know how to dress well, for anything. I just believe that, we need to receive our flowers while we're alive. You know what I mean? So I would tell you, I admired Sylvester so much. How he was able to coordinate the media for a whole continent just for one award. So that was interesting. And he just held me like his younger brother.
Right.
And so we had that relationship. And then from there, he always insisted to me that, oh God, I would love if you were doing PR, you would blow somewhere. So, I started paying attention to public relations and everything. And then that's how I, packed my things to South Africa, started studying public relations and marketing. And then, boom, we moved from there. Even when I was in South Africa, guess what? Channel O Awards still invited me to come cover the awards, not knowing that I was not doing TV anymore in Nigeria. As in that our names and details were still on their media sheets. So they reached out to me and everything. But then I only attended the awards and didn't present and everything. It was such a beautiful experience. But, in South Africa for 1 year, I was, learning about a new environment, meeting new people, and started interning with Sylvester's agency called DNA Brand Agency, which is like today one of the top 3 biggest agencies in South Africa. I interned with them and everything. I made new friends, new connects and everything because I believe relationships are everything. So I believe strongly in that. And, from new friends to new people to having a whole time in South Africa and then moving back to Nigeria again. My life is really, really a roller coaster.
No, but I still want to dwell on the life in South Africa.
Yes, it was everything.
Because at the time, we're seeing pictures of you there. Because this is me, and I'm still talking secondary school when you were already blossoming, right? But the thing where Facebook, we got to see your pictures and how you were living the fashion, was fashioning. Like, we'll see yellow pants, red pants,
V-necks.
I
had an era of V-necks.
Bow ties.
Yes.
Looks upon looks upon looks. It felt like you were thriving there, that, you had found something new. If you had moved to South Africa, what was the reason why you decided to come back? Because if you ask me, I thought you were good there.
South Africa was a time of its own. South Africa was more like
a transition.
Before I left South Africa, this is something I've actually never told anyone, just a few people around my life that I've told. Before I moved to South Africa, let's just say I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know my capabilities. I didn't really know what I could do. I didn't know what my potentials were.
Right.
But in South Africa, for some reason or the other, maybe growth. I came to find myself, understand my being, understand who I am, understand what I would take and what I will not take. In South Africa, I started loving myself to the level where I would love myself for you to see and know how to treat me, for you to see and know how much I respect myself, to give me the kind of respect. South Africa made me see
exposed you to yourself.
Exposed me to myself, opened a lot of things for me, sort of like show me
how brilliant you are as a creative,
and how widespread I could go. And for South Africa, sort of, it's such a bright horizon in South Africa, and you get to meet young people who are doing amazing things.
I love that country.
And we are realizing that if you don't move as fast, and if you don't move with this kind of mindset, you're going to hold yourself back from a lot of things. And in time, you will never forgive yourself, by not doing these things. So for South Africa, it shaped me, it molded me, it presented me, he made me see myself as international. Listen, I can go on and on, but South Africa made me. Till date, South Africa is like my second home. It's somewhere I visit at least 4 to 5 times every year. It feels like my home. My friends in South Africa are like my brothers, are like my sisters. I go to South Africa today, I can say, my friends, listen, the people that I met in South Africa, they are family for life. Till date, we are still friends. Even if some of them have relocated to other countries and everything, till date, we are still like one big family.
Yes. Okay. So I love that. So coming back to Nigeria, that's when I met you, right?
Yes.
So you had come back to Nigeria. You're starting a new blog called Uber Style.
Uber Style. Ooh, Jesus Christ.
So that was the first.
That was my first thing. Yeah.
Why did you decide to do a blog? Because you're fashionable. But that time, blogging was big.
Blogging was everything at the time.
The time of Linda KG and the rest.
It was the time with Linda KG. It was the time of Bella Niger, which both blogs are still relevant till date.
Right.
But there were not a lot of blogs. So for my blog, I wanted, yes, people to also see and know about my personal style. And I also want to be reporting a lot on fashion, the trends. I wanted to report red carpet fab. I wanted to report, what's happening in fashion, the news, just the way they report political news and all of these things. I wanted to report all kinds of news. I wanted to be able to report who are the new creative directors of this house, who are the new designers that just went to this house, I wanted to be able to report Fashion Week, and that led me to go into my first international gig in New York, Fashion Week in New York.
Ooh,
do you remember those photos? Yes. Now that was an era for me and everything. And I remember just going blindly, traveling to New York, lodged into the Hilton, and was there for like 2 days sleeping and just enjoying myself, the big city. And
so you didn't have any plans to attend Fashion Week?
No
because
plans.
You trended that time.
I just went to New York to experience the big city. I've never been there. It's already my favorite city. So when I went there, it was Fashion Week, 3 days time. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? I remember asking some of my friends and they were giving me Google Maps. How am I saying, why you were not even helpful? My friend, another of my friends had to explain to me, welcome to New York. Nobody helps you in New York.
Right.
And everything. So that's a thing. And, from one way or the other, I communicate easily. I can never lost in a city. I ask questions. And boom, 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 from asking one question to attending one show, at the finals of the New York Fashion Week, I found myself in front row Marc Jacobs, which is an iconic fashion show. I was sitting next to Andre Leon Talley, God bless his soul, and Whoopi Goldberg to my right. And that was a moment of a lifetime. Not every designer, not everyone will be able to get tickets to attend Marc Jacobs.
I know how tough the shows are because I've been in Paris when we could not get in. It was tough,
it's
right?
Like that.
Wait, do you wake base from Lagos? Say, I'm just going to New York to go and chill. How do you navigate your way to the point?
I say from Warri boy, we grew up for Jackbar Roads to New York front row, Marc Jacobs.
And you outdid yourself, and the looks were looking like everything.
Everything was doing so. Listen, it was the most. From Bella Niger to Ono Bello to all the blogs were giving me
so much conversation.
Come and take over our blog and everything and report.
Yeah.
It was just too much, Attended all the fashion parties, attended a party that Saks had, attended another party for Dior, attended the black party, an all-black party that Vogue organized. Listen, I don't think I can ever be able to relive those moments. I never get to talk about it, just like we're talking now.
Yeah. But did you ever think that was going to be your trajectory? Like maybe this is me, this is fashion, this is where I'm going to be now. Because you were already excelling at it. Like you already had a blog that you had launched. You were already in the conversation for a lot of fashion. Do you think that was going to be the line you were going to toe?
I know fashion was going to be part of it. It's either me producing the fashion or it's me wearing the fashion. But one thing I know for sure is that my personality, my being, fashion is definitely involved. Because for those people that love fashion really, fashion never really go out. It never leaves them.
Yeah.
It's something, I know people who got to their 40s. That's when they decide to want to launch a fashion line. I'm like, oh my God, I've known you for like 20 years. You just been, why are you deciding now? And you'd be like, oh no, it's just the right time.
Right.
So I've always known fashion is a part of me.
Right.
But in terms of the blogging, I failed,
Sorry.
I failed, that blogging.
The radical honesty.
It's not, no. I told you, coming to your blog, I'm going to be very, very honest.
My show, you mean?
Your show.
Yeah.
Blogging is not easy because I started having a lot of following. In the space of 3 months, I've gotten over 4,000 followers on my Uber style page. At a point, I was asking, what am I going to give them more other than reporting this? Other people are reporting like this and everything. And we're in Lagos now. Things are happening so fast and everything. I needed a team. I think that's how I met you.
Yes, because I was writing for you at some point.
You were writing for me at some point and everything. Oh my goodness, I remember our first meeting.
Okay. Let's talk about the first meeting.
Oh my God, you want to tell them the story or I tell them the story? You tell them the story.
I'm the one asking the question. Anyway, I think I was looking for a job at the time. I don't know who referred me.
No, it was a ripe moment. So I didn't even know you were looking for a job at the time. I was looking for somebody to work with. I called my friend Chude.
Right.
Yes. And then he introduced you to me. And I remember we met in a small cafe.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And I was asking you some really silly questions.
So you had walked into the cafe with was it LV or Gucci?
No, it was a Tom Ford bag.
Right.
Yeah.
So I walked in and I was like, who be this one? They don't carry. But I could smell the fashion. I just was in so much awe because I'm like, oh, he gets it. Then we moved on to like writing. You had like lofty ideas for Uber style. So we went on to writing. I did a bit of skincare, beauty. I was like in 200 or 300 level.
Yeah, I think so. 300.
Yeah, 300. I was about to finish. So when Uber style failed, I think we stopped communicating for a bit.
We stopped communicating for a bit. I think I traveled again.
Yes.
Yes, I traveled again.
Yeah.
And then I came back again. And I think we had a very strong connection from the moment we met. So it was you. I knew going back to Nigeria, I must call Taymesan and then we're going to, I was just free sharing my ideas, which was very risky at the time because what if you ran with my ideas?
I did 300 level for you. Like, what I want to do?
I was just very free with you. I even saw you as like my mates. We did gist everything.
Yes,
what we had from each other.
Yes, we had a very healthy work relationship, and so post school, you come back after like a while. You had gone back to South Africa.
Yeah, I just went on holiday. I was confused.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
What?
Should I stay there? Should I move back here and everything? Because when I come back here, I was out there. I'm a very sociable person. I go out all the time. I'm always out there. Because I mean, like, you cannot sit in your house and you want to know people now.
Yes.
You move around, And of course, the agencies always invites me.
Yeah.
Fashion designers invite me for their shows, So I was always out there, basically.
Right.
And, from there, I met one of my bosses up there called Shinapella.
Right.
And from there, he really poured a lot in me and made me like see a lot that the nightlife is entails. So I sort of like saw a vision. But prior to South Africa, I used to host like nights in South Africa. Or I'd seen a vision. I'd seen a big picture of what being a nightlife is and everything. But coming to Nigeria in this landscape, Quilox was like the number one club and everything. And then I was opportune to meet the owner who was really brushing me up and telling me things and opening up things for me to see that, it's more than just a club where people come to party. It's a whole
curated
industry.
lifestyle.
It's a curated lifestyle. So I went on to study to dig in and realize this is $1 billion industry that people are sleeping on. And immediately I took the business side of it and ran with it. I never looked back.
Hold that thought, Efe. So me, I had finished Unilag. I was looking for a job. You had come back. So we had a meeting again, remember? But this time you're like, Taymesan, we're not doing fashion anymore. We're doing nightlife.
Yeah.
I'm like, how can you reconcile the fashion and the nightlife?
And you never understood nightlife. You were like, I don't understand this nightlife.
You know me, I be church boy now. So me and they come and say, which one be this one? Which one? I said, okay, but if he wants to do nightlife, let's do nightlife.
Yes.
But one of the things I think that I've never said to you was your brilliant take on nightlife. Your brilliant take on lifestyle events and creation. I learned so much from us sitting down to think about funky brunch.
Yeah.
2016, I can never forget. We sat down, we started ideating. I didn't believe it at first because I didn't believe in it at first.
You didn't believe until you started carrying chairs the day of our first event.
Because if you've always been extra. So we're sitting there in meetings. My own is come and write press release. Now we say I know. So I'm wondering why if we don't have a lot of budget, but if he's creating a larger than life event in his head, we're gonna have Veuve Clicquot here. We're going to have bad bitches flying from all over the world. We're going to have champagne. Yeah, they look at our budget and say, we don't get bored. Which kind? What is this dream about?
But it's going to, and I'll tell you where that dream came from, right?
Right.
So, my friend Nimi, Nimi and I have known each other for a very long time. But when you know somebody, but we don't speak.
Yeah.
But then we came to Lagos again. It was as if we were destined to connect.
Right.
Because his friends, my friends, started connect and everything. And fast forward, Nimi and I always used to gist about some of the challenges we used to face in parties. And we sit down after a night going out and we'll complain about all the things that we expected to happen that are not happening. And don't people know how to party and everything? Because I won't lie to you. I have such a very long, extensive history of partying and enjoying life. So when it comes to enjoyment, I think I sabi the thing well.
Yeah.
So Nimi and I had a whole conversation and everything. And just from that conversation, we found the name Funky Brunch because I kept on being like, we want something that is going to be funky, very daytime,
a day party that goes into night.
Goes into night. Maybe at like 6 p.m. We're going to have, when the sun sets, we're going to have house music playing. Then Nigeria people were not even bothered about house music.
They didn't know
about house music.
Yeah.
There was no amapiano. It was house music. So we just deliberated about it, and in the course of it and everything, we want it funky, and then Nimi went on like, that's the name there, Funky Brunch. And that's how we found Funky Brunch and started developing on the idea.
Funky Brunch was such a successful, when I started carrying the stools. Remember when we were trying to do the first event where we were carrying stools trying to set up?
Yes.
I was so bothered that
Will people come? You asked me that question so much.
It was also like the first of its kind.
With people come, I think Funky Brunch was like a cultural shift.
Yes.
In partying.
In Lagos.
In the style of partying in Lagos
Yeah.
and everything. They had not seen anything like that before and everything. And for us, we were just really thinking and visualizing how we want our guests to come. We wanted it to look very much international. What are the women doing? We know all our friends, they have Birkin bags, they have designer clothes, they have wardrobes that deserves bulletproofs, they have bag collections that needs to be covered in a vault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where do they wear these things to? I started advocating. Bring out the Birkins, all your Birkins, in skins, bring all of them out. Come, this is the party you should show off. Dress up and everything. And boy, did Lagos arrive. Listen, it became a trend. Do you remember? Arrivals became a trend. Because that was me I'm quite big on Snapchat. My numbers are incredible. Yeah. So when I'm doing Snapchat of you when you're arriving, I start screaming, arrivals, darling.
Yes.
So that was it was a thing. It was
oh my God, that was a whole era.
People were looking forward to the Funky Brunch because some girls now even saw it as, you went to Funky Brunch. Did they face Snapchat you? You're not dressed well now.
I'm very fair.
Oh my God, that was a thing.
Yes, because the things that people started coming, and if they did dress well, they were not going to come.
Yeah.
People started ordering outfits ahead.
Oh yeah. I had personal shoppers, people that own boutiques, who would call me and gift me clothes just because people are coming to buy clothes for them for the Funky Brunch. We had people who used. I remember how I met Medlin Boss. Right. She used to fly from Port Harcourt to Lagos to attend the Funky Brunch.
Amazing.
I would be fighting with her. Every time she would see me, she'd say, I don't feel miss this party, my friend. I don't feel miss this party. I'll be like, when are you moving to Lagos now? When are you moving to Lagos? I had stories like that.
Yeah.
I had people who would message me on Snapchat and book tables from Dubai, from London, book tables and actually fly in. I've never met them before, but at the Funky Brunch, say, bro, now maybe this person when they chat you and everything. Oh wow, welcome and everything. It grew from like 400 guests to over 3,000 guests at the Balmoral Hall.
Say any day that you and Nimi, because at the time I'd gone back to doing 9 to 5, so I'd moved away from you guys doing Funky Brunch. So it was now you and Nimi that were really doing it. Was there any day that you and Nimi sat? Which of the events did you guys sit and like, Nimi, we have hacked this thing? Because the events were the numbers, we couldn't get like space in the hall, right? What was the moment that you guys just sat down and like, shit, this our idea has caught fire?
I think after the first Funky Brunch, we knew, we were convinced that we had a gold mine in our hands. But because the finance to pull this off was not readily available behind our back, it was not behind us.
Give me a ballpark figure of the amount that you need to do a typical Funky Brunch event.
Then?
Yeah.
Oh, then we were looking at a whole budget inclusive just to produce the event. Our event is based on finance, is based on sale of drinks, right? And if we're looking at production, they were looking at maybe like 15 to 20 million at a time.
Right.
To produce, producing, getting a venue, decorating a venue, because we knew exactly what our venue should look like. Decorating the venue. For the Funky Brunch for us was an experience from the moment you walk into the arena to getting into the hall, to the kind of music you're hearing. The music was not the regular kind of sound.
6, 7
we used to have
DJs?
we used to have 15 DJs. 30 minutes, some of them 45 minutes. If you have 20 minutes slot, you don't deliver on your 20 minutes slot. Somebody's waiting for you. There was no time to play and everything. But I guess after the first time we went to the Balmoral Hall, when we knew that we didn't have space, the crowd was increasing every time. We had overrun the Twin Waters. And then when we went to Federal Palace, the car park at Federal Palace, the rooftop of the car park. People didn't believe that we're going to have an event there because an event has never been done there. It was a regular car park, but we transformed the whole place, and that became one of our biggest Funky Brunch. We had in attendance everyone, from Whisk, everyone.
Yes.
And then from there, we knew that something has shifted in the culture, especially when I started getting calls from people who would be like, oh, if I want to be involved in this nightlife industry, I would go back home and start thinking, oh, so the way there's music industry, movie industry, so there's a nightlife industry. It is how people see it from outside. And then it reaffirmed to me more that this is not just an industry. This is a movement.
Right.
This is a bankable movement.
Right.
And look at it today.
Yeah.
We have, listen, let's talk about Dirty December last year.
Yeah.
It's what the amount of revenue that nightlife can even bring into
the economy.
The economy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing.
So what happened to Funky Brunch?
In 2020, the year of COVID, it's a thing I really don't want to remember. It was so sad for me.
Right.
After COVID, it was taking time for the government to reopen everywhere.
Right.
But all through the year of COVID, we were also not just at home waiting. We were still cooking. We were always cooking ideas.
Right.
We had produced and created a whole event project called the Lifestyle Brunch. I wanted to do in South Africa. You were aware about it. You were on the plan for it as well. We had done that. We had done other things. And then we had grown to, as an agency, to not just to be producing parties, but also to be producing experiences for brands in the lifestyle space, in the, drink space and everything. Pick up a brand, create an experience that matches with the brand's ethos.
Yeah.
And, we were on that level. So we were not really lacking in terms of money, but not the kind of budget we wanted to. Every Funky Brunch from the beginning was bigger than the previous.
Yes.
Yes. So we knew what we wanted to do and everything. We picked up the big hall at Landmark. We did the event. We advertised the event to all of our customers individually because we couldn't do an outright publicity because of the COVID.
Yeah.
And COVID had just ended at the time.
Yeah.
And we went ahead to have an event, at that time. And in the middle of the event at 1:30, I was just in the event and I saw a policeman on the stage saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, the party is over. Pay your bills and leave this auditorium." It was like a joke. I remember falling down flat on the floor in the toilets. And somebody came to call me that they are looking for me. I went outside. I was weeping, wailing, Taymesan. I was on with my friends and the life did not end. I'm like, what? Do you know how much I've just lost here? I bought drinks worth over 150 million. Who is going to buy the drinks? We haven't even sold 1/4 of these drinks. Who is going to buy these drinks? How am I going to pay the balance to the suppliers? How am I going to pay ushers? I have over 150 ushers. I have over waiters, at least 200 waiters, runners, cleaners, DJs that have been booked, hype men that have been booked. What about the lighting? What about the furniture? One of our most incredible designs in terms of production was done for that event. And that's how our party was cancelled. We lost over 200 million.
That's crazy.
From a production where we started with 0 naira to building ourselves to that, it wasn't easy at all.
Yeah.
It was a struggle.
Right.
It was a big struggle. This was like 2021. It was a big struggle to come out and everything. You also don't want to go back. I'm just being very honest.
Yeah.
You also don't want to go back to go and meet people to say, people, in Nigeria, we are in a society where your downfall excites people.
Yes.
I will never understand it, but it's facts.
Right.
When you're not doing well, people are excited. When you're doing well, they don't want to give you your flowers.
Yeah.
So that was a syndrome that was happening to me. I couldn't even go and meet anyone to say, this is what's happening to Funky Brunch. How can we do it and everything? I was feeling ashamed.
Right.
I was feeling also like I lost, but I had a great support system. My friend Nimi was always there. My sister, some of my friends who knew me in-house always made me feel like you're not doing anything bad. They end your party and everything. Life goes on, and I ran with that mentality and that spirit and everything. And from there, other things started realizing. We started seeing the good things in the little. We started seeing lights in the little things that we never used to value, And from then on, we focused on just creating small experiences, not as big as Funky Brunches, but very, very effective. That, small but mighty activations. We started doing that and everything. But, fingers crossed, you never know. Your favorite party might just be back at the end of the year.
Big pearl. Let's go.
Very big one.
Yeah. So, career is going on fine. You are in the peak of what seems to be
I wouldn't even lie. I'm very grateful to God that even in this period where the Funky Brunch was held down, we had a couple of brands that there are those brands that didn't believe in you anymore that would go. It was such a trying moment for me, like a really, really trying moment. I literally struggled, but we thank God that we don't even look half as what we have been through, what we are going through, but I know for sure that it was a really, really tough moment for me and very tough experience for me and everything. Even at this time, with the period of 2 years, nobody was doing what we were doing. Yeah. And this was a time where people started springing up. So I wake up in the morning, somebody is delivering my ideas. Somebody is doing like a copy and paste, executing copy and paste.
And
like
there were so many people who replicated after.
Yeah, they were replicating Funky, and it was for me. I was not a gatekeeper. I don't gatekeep any information. But I didn't understand why they were trying to do my kind of decor, but in a cheap way. The kind of thing they were just trying to copy me, but. Still, I still get a lot of people who see me and say that, they're trying to be like you. Some people will even text me, I'm at this party, they're trying to make the party look like your party, but they're not getting it, the vibes is not here and everything. In that moment, it just reaffirms to me that, this thing for Bad Funky Brunch is actually a gift from God. That's why people can't copy it.
Right.
Yes, I believed it so much. And that was 2022. All through 2022 was really a really trying year. 2021, 2022 was a tough year. And in that tough year, for some reason or the other, God still showed his way, I still traveled for holidays. I still did things. I still moved. I still enjoyed. There were other opportunities for me. You know what I mean? I was doing a lot. I would sit in the house. I have never struggled in my life.
Right.
I have never struggled for anything.
Right.
I just really pray and seriously pray about it.
And provision comes.
It just happens one way or the other. It's either I meet somebody who introduces me to this person, or somehow it just happens. At that period, we stopped doing Funky Brunch in Nigeria. We introduced Funky Brunch in Ghana.
Right.
It was so super successful.
Right.
The first one was so successful. The owners of the venue begged us to do another one the next day.
Right.
And the next day one even became bigger, so that helped us. It was like a blessing in disguise. We are crying in Nigeria, but we are gaining and opening new grounds in Ghana.
Amazing.
So that was really, really a good one for me and very experienced. So 2021, 2022 was quite challenging, but with God we pulled through.
Yeah.
But in 2022, up until August, September, things changed.
Right.
It changed. I didn't understand what was going on. I wake up in the morning, I feel tired.
Right.
I wake up in the morning, I feel sick.
Right.
I would have headaches from hell. I would have headaches where I would have to put ice blocks in towel and put it in my head for hours. I will go out with my friends and have a glass of champagne, and I'll come back home and I'll feel sick, like I'm high, like everything was. I was living with the fear of, what if I sleep this night and don't wake up?
Because
I was feeling that fear every time, but I was unable to talk to anybody about it.
Yeah.
Not even Nimi I was living in a house with.
Yeah.
You know, we chilled every day, we gist every day. I was going through all of this, but I'm unable to share it with my friend. Not because I did not want to share it with them, but also because I don't want to make them feel any way like, what is happening? I was scared of fear from other people and people that were close to me, you know. So I used to fall sick, you know, in too much. In a space of 2 months, I would fall sick 3 times. Malaria, fever. And I just stopped drinking alcohol and really faced a very good, healthy diet. So I started feeding on vegetables, fresh meal only. I hardly ever eat out. Any restaurant I'm eating, best believe, is a restaurant that I'm consulting for, that I know them up to their kitchen, or I'm very good friends with the chef and everything. So I know the level of cleanliness that they offer, you know. So it was a tough time. December, that period, we got another big gig to handle marketing and PR for Burna Boy's concerts.
Nice.
On January 1st, one of the biggest. It was exciting for us. It was a major project for us. And boom. After the concert, which was very mighty successful, the story switched up on me. Like, I found out my kidneys were failing. I remember when the doctor told my sister, and my sister came to tell me that your kidneys are failing. I didn't understand what dialysis was, but I just kept hearing them saying, we have to do dialysis for like, you know, so I thought dialysis was something you would do for 2 days, 2 weeks max, and you are back in your feet. So I kept on telling my friends that, no worry, we'll do. I will even be planning party and outing with them. That's once I come on for here, immediately after this dialysis,
we enter
town.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 2023 in February 16th to be precise.
So you found that your kidneys were failing in February 2023?
2023.
So, but you had hopes that, you know what, worst case, we could do this treatment for like a month at least, then get back on the scene.
I was falling sick so much.
Right.
I had to move. One day, my internet was not working. So this is where it started. My internet was not working in my house. My sister and I live in the same compound, Block A and Block B. So I had to go to my sister's flat to use her internet. And when I went to see her, my sister is somebody that her eyes, you know her now, her eyes is on the ground.
Yeah.
When she saw me, she said, Fefe, what's going on with you? I don't like this your skin, this kind of thing where you see, you know, my sister has mouth now.
Yes.
I don't like this kind of thing where you see, which kind of fashion be this?
Yes.
You know, 2 of my aunties had told me the same thing a week before. That, is this fashion? How kind of skinny is this? I don't like this skinny at all. This one is not good at all. Eat. Everybody that knows me knows that I eat food. I love food. Like, it's my love language. One of them, anyways. And we went to the hospital. I know I don't like hospitals, but my sister was like, Ife, please promise me one thing. I remember that evening. Let's go to the hospital tomorrow. I know you don't like the hospital. So my sister was shocked when I told her that, I've been to the hospital now. I have an appointment with the doctor tomorrow. She was like, you have been? Yes. Well, I've done tests. Some of the results will come tomorrow. And that's how we went back to the hospital, and everything changed right in my front. The doctor told my sister that my kidneys are failing from the results I've just seen, and that my sister didn't even believe. She had to call her gynecologist who works in a hospital, that the head of the hospital there is a nephrologist. So he was able to help us do express, get into the hospital through the exit and everything. And everything was happening so fast. Everything was happening so fast. I couldn't walk, I couldn't stand. I was weighing 59 kg. Yeah, from 75, I was weighing 59. I was that dry, you know, and things just happened. But one thing that kept me going all through this while was my belief that I will get over this and I will get back on my feet and life will continue, because I know God has a purpose for my life and it's not done yet. I had that belief so firmly. I remember I used to tell my sister that everything will be fine. Oh, everything will be fine. And I need you to be strong, because if you are not strong, I will be getting weak. I need you to be strong.
But if you wait, you know, your life will flash before you. Like, I want to know that moment when the doctor is telling you that your kidneys are failing.
Doctor didn't tell me. He told my sister. My sister was very skeptical to tell me. I remember that day she had brought food to me in the hospital. So I asked her, why does this food not have taste? So he said, the doctor said you can't be eating salt anymore. And then we're just in the hospital, and she just started telling, conversation, she just started telling me that what she started with, everything will be fine. You are going to do dialysis. Still, I didn't even know what dialysis. Typical me, I would Google immediately. I didn't even care. Like, see, in our mentality, anything kidneys for old people now, not old people with sickness and everything. But, after all this ordeal, I realized that kidney can happen to anyone, even to a 6-month-old baby. Anybody can be affected, because now I'm a huge advocate for kidney awareness, So that was it. So my life sort of flashed right. It flashed right in front of my eyes when I'm hearing it, not from the doctor, but from my sister, saying that this is what your new life is going to be now.
So, but before this time, you didn't notice any symptoms?
The only symptom I knew was the constant headaches. So when I get that headache, it affects me so bad, like serious migraine. I don't even wish it on my enemy. I don't wish it on anyone. So I would take paracetamol. Paracetamol stopped working. Panadol stopped working. There is no ibuprofen I've never taken. So I got stuck with a Panadol powder. I used to buy it from South Africa.
Yeah.
It's called Grandpa. I used to buy it from South Africa. It's just a typical Panadol where you take, maybe you overwork yourself or but I overdosed myself on that. There's no time you see me that you won't see at least 4 sachets of Grandpa in my pocket. Or you won't see like sachets of Grandpa in my bag, because when the headache kicks in, I just open a sachet. But I take it ordinarily, like pour it in my mouth. That bitter got used to me. So when I was diagnosed with my kidney, they said my kidney was surrounded by white particles. So it was only then I opened up to the doctor that this is what I've been taking. I remember the doctor opening Google for me and typed causes of kidney failure.
Yeah, overdosing on
ibuprofen, painkillers. They were the first 2. Like, listen, I was just saying to myself, God, look at what carelessness.
So do you ever feel, I don't know if it's guilt, I'll call it, that thing where you're like, oh, I fucked up. I could have watched out for myself better. My health. Because this is you from doing great work, you getting diagnosed, you moving straight to dialysis. Because I remember when...
I think that, because of the kind of mindsets that I had, that mindset of, I'm going to get through this thing.
What ever gave you that mindset? Because, let's be honest, we've met people who who started dialysis before you were around the time that you did and also passed.
A lot of people. I even had a doctor told me that, this thing is 90%. It's like 10% survival chances. So,
my God.
Yeah, so I will be in the hospital and I will not be thinking. My sister, one thing I always say to kidney patients or people going through health challenges, the one thing is not even the doctors, it's not even how great your doctor is, it's not even how wonderful or how effective the medications are. It's to have a great sense of community, a great support system. And trust me, I had that in my sister and the close friends around me. Even some of my friends were far away in London or America, but they were with me. I had friends who would wake me up in the morning at 5. How far? As I'm getting ready for dialysis, they are there on the phone gisting with me. My sister was so... My sister, for me, how do I put it? When God sends you when they say God sends you angel in human form.
Yeah.
My sister was that.
So supportive.
My sister was that angel. She was cooking for me. She is into development and interior design. So I know how busy my sisters work. And she gets really busy that she takes holiday only from the 21st or 22nd of December. But in all of this time, there was not one day that I missed her or I needed to speak to her that she was not there, or I needed to be with somebody, or we needed to cry, or just that she was not with me.
Let's talk about the mental space that you were in. Because there were times when I would drive past your house, I go, won't stop, but I couldn't bear to see you. Your feet swollen.
Yeah, my face.
Your face.
Yeah. And that thing, the catheter.
Yeah.
In my body. You see, you will always be like, Efe, I don't want to see you. You know, say you sabi give gist, go they explain. Maybe it's not go come out so. I said to me, son, it won't leave.
I can't lie to you. Myself and KK were so scared. I prayed. Every time I would leave your house, I'll be in the car, I would pray. I'm like, God, please. Because, I'd seen people who had passed from this thing, but you always kept a strong front.
I was going out. I was producing events.
You were still showing up.
I was showing up for people.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. I was showing up. And a lot of people didn't know. So I wasn't going out and getting people say to me, if I hope you're okay. No. A lot of people just thought I added weight. But they did not realize that my body was retaining water due to my kidneys failing. So my body cannot remove, I basically cannot use my penis to pee.
Yeah.
So my body was retaining water. You understand? But I couldn't help myself. I had bills to pay. The hospital bill, nobody's going to pay them. And the hospital bills it's not joke.
Yes.
It's very expensive. Like kidney really, really depends on finance.
Right.
God first and then finance. Because the doctors have to be paid. All the medications are imported. Your surgeons are flying in. So it's a lot of money. How am I going to make this money? So I was still working. I was producing events. Yeah. All through the while, I remember Toke saying to me, Efe, so you're going through this. I said, shut up your mouth. Why didn't you tell me? I said, if I tell you, forgive me this job. You know, I need your money.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like that. But one thing I just believed that as far as God, I will. This is just a challenge. So I always saw that, that part of the Bible where the Bible says at the end of the tunnel, there's a light. That was me. I was always seeing that light. As a matter of fact, I will sit with Nimi. We will be planning events. I will be planning what I'm wearing for the events. I will plan a whole look. Only after planning will I realize that, I have a catheter here. I don't know if you wear this see-through blouse. Oh, God, I'll come start to look for another look again.
Wow.
Now, only then I'll come realize, say, Kai, legs swell up. I'm not going to wear this shoe. Ha, God. Oh, Nimi will now come in and say, you are going to wear black socks and these Crocs. Nobody will see them. Na nights.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like that. Well, one thing, we shall made it work.
Yes.
I was on dialysis for 1 year and 4 months.
How often were you going to dialysis?
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And my dialysis sessions were in the morning. So I go 5 a.m. in the morning. By 6 a.m., I'm on the machine. By 11 o'clock, 11:30, I'm back home. So I used to either do the private hospital or I was doing St. Nicholas. Anyone that was convenient for me. I was doing that. It was my weekly routine and everything. Even when I travel on holiday, I will book a hospital in Cape Town where I go for my dialysis. I never miss dialysis for one day. If I'm in Johannesburg, I will book dialysis there. Yes, it was even more expensive. But my doctor always made me feel very good every time he says, live your best life, Efe. Live your best life. So I did not want a situation where my friends and I want to go on a holiday trip and I would say to them that, I can't go because no, enjoyment no go pass me. Maybe we go that trip together. Kidney or no kidney, we must enjoy.
We judge you for I don't feel like me and Keke will sit down and judge you. See, what
how many
carry catheter, they go fight for South Africa. We didn't see you go wear suit cover. I'm like, this, but I respect that doggedness, that zeal to want to live.
You just need to tell yourself.
Small thing we do like I don't scatter for ground.
You
held your own.
Yes, I was always telling myself that I am strong. I am strong. I will make it. These are my affirmations in the morning. I am strong. I will make it. This thing is not going to see the end of me. I was telling myself that every time. Even when people see me out and every time, I see that judgmental look and everything, but I just don't entertain it because I am one
look
person.
Of pity.
I did not want that look of pity from anyone. So, and that's the reason why I didn't. I can tell I can count my finger to tell you the number of people that knew about my health. And if they know, if you ever know about it, I personally told you.
Right.
Which was why it's a big shocker to everybody when I posted a video on my Instagram page after the surgery was successful, because I didn't want pity. I don't like people that come to meet me and tell me, oh, can you do it? I was scared of people coming to tell me, my brother went through this thing and he died. My sister went through this thing, he died. I was so scared of those kind of comments.
Entertaining them.
I kept it to myself and everything. I was always saying to myself, no. You cannot bring negative energy to me. Stay away from me. I'm enjoying myself. I was doing the right. I wasn't drinking alcohol. I just wanted to enjoy myself. I am intoxicated by good music. So I get really high on music and I get high on people's enjoyments. You know, I cannot be on Snapchat and be looking at all my friends enjoying themselves and everything and I say I'm on the bed because of kidney. No, kidney, calm down. I did town, no.
You really had that sound.
I did town.
But you know what's so beautiful? In that 1 year, 6 months where you were
1 year, 4 months.
That you were waiting for a kidney.
I was searching for a kidney. My sister doesn't even know this. We will spend we'll be looking for donors for the longest time.
How does the donor thing work?
So you just put your word out there. There are agencies where you have to speak. Your doctor, of course, knows your history.
Yeah.
Who would also be in a search for you and everything. You know, I always say God works in miraculous ways that man can never, ever understand. You know, so it was just a miracle. Let's just say after months of spending so much money, because when you find someone who is willing to give you a kidney, you people start doing the tests. Now, you would run several tests. You would have spent at least maybe 5 to 6 million naira at the time. That's only when you would know that this person is a match or not a match. So you can imagine spending that kind of money 5 times and it is not a match. I had friends. God blessed me with really good friends. I had friends who were willing to give me their kidney, but they were either not a match or they were maybe high blood pressure and everything. So they were not, yes, they were. But God did really send me an angel in human form. And from the moment we started our tests till the very last time when we were walking into the hospital, that today is the day. It was just
Tell me about the moment. So tell me about 2 moments that I want to engage, right? The moment that you found out that you found a match.
Yeah.
And the moment you're walking into the theater to get a new kidney.
The moment the moment I realized I found a match, my mind still wasn't convinced because anything can happen at any time. What if this donor say I not do again?
Oh, they can change.
Oh yeah, people can change their mind and say I not do again. I had a donor one time who said who the family refused that he's the breadwinner of their family and they cannot risk it. This was the person that we have gone all tests. It's a match on everything. You know, so you can imagine. So when it comes to having a broken heart, I don't think anything in this life can break my heart anymore. I have seen it all. Nothing can break my heart. Do you know what it means for you to depend your life on someone, knowing that this person is going to give me 1 kidney for me to survive? And then you wake up in the morning and the person says, I cannot give you any more. Just send me back to sleep and don't wake me up. Leave me there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that one is that. But we have passed all that. Now it's now the day for surgery. Now on my way to surgery, me and my sister were in the car. My sister had seen the post on Instagram and assumed that I did not see it. This was another creative who had posted on Snapchat, on Twitter, and said,
the video director.
The video director. Can we mention his name?
I mean, it's
TJ
open. TJ Warri.
We are now very good friends now.
Yeah.
You know, then I've never met him.
Yeah.
But I know about him because of course his amazing jobs he has done.
Yeah.
You know, so he tweeted and said, this was on my way. I remember we were in traffic light, Lekki Phase 1, going to the hospital with bags packed and everything, going for admission. Surgery is tonight. And I saw on Twitter, my sister had seen it since, but she didn't tell me. But that day of my surgery when I woke up, I've never prepared for this kind of thing before. I didn't know what they used to do, So I looked at myself. I called my friend Tolani. I said, Tolani, please, there's a spa open. I want to come and do manicure and pedicure. So I did manicure, I did pedicure, I did my whole ritual I do at Gazelle. Threaded my brows, called, see me preparing for, like I'm going for an event.
Surgery, you won't go to.
For surgery. From there, I was going home. I looked at the time. Time was still past 12 o'clock. I said, time still in at 5, the smell will come. I called Skinetics, where I do my facial and skin work. And I went to have a facial, hydrofacial, dermaplaning. Looked like I was preparing for an event. And in the evening, as we were going, I saw a tweet where TG Omori had tweeted and said, guys, if anything happens to me, about something, his kidney has failed again. His body rejected his kidney and he's at St. Nicholas Hospital. God.
The same hospital you're going to do
the same hospital I'm 5 minutes away from. I did not know, but you know what my sister told me, which was so profound at that moment. She said to me that your name is Efemena. His name is TJ Omori. His story is different from your story. This is not going to be your story, Efe. You are not going to bring fear into yourself. This is the reason why I don't want to show you these things so. But as far you don't see I'm so, you are not going to let it enter your head. We are going to the hospital. The surgery is going to be done. And you will come out. My sister actually stayed in the hospital. She waited for me from the moment to enter the hospital till the surgery was done. She sat down they were calling her a mad woman. Go home, madam. She sat by the reception throughout.
Crazy.
She's a king woman.
Girl.
A king woman. Yeah. I'm jealous of of people that my sister is friends with because I feel like, so you people are enjoying the kind of energy I'm enjoying with this girl. Very selfish with my sister. You know now.
Yeah.
Very selfish with her. Yeah. So that was it. Went to the hospital. They started preparing me, of course. I was very, very scared. I was very, very scared. I was calling my sister every 3 minutes, calling my mom. You know how we believe that our mom's prayer is the ultimate prayer in our life? Well, my mom believed so. She said to me, Efe, fear is of the devil. Oh. Don't ever let fear creep in. Oh. Just go there. It has happened. It happened. Call me on. Once this surgery is over, call me. I go to wait for your call. I'm not going to sleep this night. And then we went there. Remember getting rolled into the theater. Saw the doctors and everybody's face. But they were bubbly. They were happy. And me, my chatterbox, personality, I started engaging everyone until anesthesia kicked in. And boom. I woke up at like 4 p.m. The first person, my phone. I called my sister and said, I was venting to my sister. Can you imagine this stupid hospital? Can you imagine they deceived us again? Surgery they don't do. This surgery is supposed to happen since June. They didn't do this surgery. Now we are here again. They didn't even do this surgery.
No, they work for everybody.
My sister said, Fifi, calm down. You're shouting. I saw Dr. B. He said everything went fine. I said, where is he? Have they done the surgery? She said, if everything is fine. Instantly, the pain I felt pain for 6 hours. Yeah. From the moment I realized that it came to my, I realized that the surgery was done as the pain started. And I could not just hold it back. I was crying like a baby. But it wasn't like painful tears. It was more of tears of thanksgiving, tears of, God, you did it. I can't believe. That means this is a true testament that there's really a purpose you have for my life and I must fulfill that purpose because I don't see why I'm alive. I'm not a saint. I'm a big-time sinner. I sin every day. I do things but God has just said to me that, what?
I will preserve you.
I will preserve you. You would finish my work and then I will call for you. So I've always believed in that. So, and the whole situation sort of really built my faith, taught me how to pray. I got really invested in morning prayers, next level prayers with Pastor Bolaji. I learned how to pray. I used to think I was a prayer warrior before, but now I pray with conviction. I pray with power. I pray
knowing that there's a God.
Pray with knowing that there's a God who will make this happen for me. So I pray with my Bible. Harvesters taught me, Pastor Bolaji taught how to pray with the Bible. So I read the Bible and I pray believing in the power in the word inside the Bible. I don't know if you get what I mean.
I know it.
Yes,
Faye.
so it's really.
There's a scripture that says it's the love of God that brings men to repentance. And when God has shown you faithfulness, when has shown you kindness and love, you're not in doubt anymore who God is. Like, prayer is not hard for you again because you have been through it and God saw you through it. So you know that there's a God.
Yes.
You are grateful. So when people, you don't pray from a place
every day, the gratefulness is every day. Every day I wake up, I think about it. Snapchat reminds me of videos. When I'm in the hospital, I make videos, fun videos. I laugh. In my hospital gown, I will be dancing. It will be making videos. So I see these things and I'm like, is this you? You really went through this. And so it all just makes me believe that for you to be alive,
God has a
plan for you. That plan still hasn't unfolded right in my face. So I'm still unfolding.
Yeah.
I'm still unfolding. I know that for sure there's something greater. And I'm unlike me before, I don't regret things now. When things happen now, it was meant to happen. And it has happened and I let it go. So I'm in that mindset. I'm in a mindset, I'm so into myself and so into my being and believing in the kind of person and what life has taught me. With what life has taught me now, nothing can really shake my faith again. Yeah.
This is so amazing. This is what I really wanted to talk about. Like where you've gotten to because of your experiences, right? So now you're running a foundation, right?
Yes. I immediately from the hospital bed, I knew that this was a message God wants for me. This was something God wanted me to share. So it's so shocking. Somebody asked me the other day that, you are in nightlife. You are very sociable. You are in the lifestyle industry. How are you going to create? I said, all the people in nightlife, all the people that come out to the clubs, all those people that are sociable, that are in the lifestyle industry, somebody needs to speak to them. Somebody needs to tell them about kidney awareness. Somebody needs to let them understand that you can be in this space and also go to the hospital to check your kidney. There are people, they're adults, in their 40s, in their 30s, they've never ever been to the hospital to check on their kidney function. So I'm here to tell you it is very important to know the function of your kidney, how well your kidney is and everything, because it doesn't show on your forehead and everything. It will not show. I was going through that. Not a lot of people knew.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it will never show, but it's good to just be sure that, my kidneys are all right. There's a level of confidence to it, knowing that, I am 100. You know what I mean? And I will continue to speak about it. I am not ashamed to talk about it. I will speak about it. I will tell the world about it. I will tell everybody about, kidney. I would educate people as much as I can. So pretty much my foundation is awareness. I want to, in the future, create trainings, for nurses. There's a shortage of nurses. I want to be able to create awareness where nurses will speak to schools, even from primary schools to high schools to university to companies.
Sensitization.
Yes, I want to be able to let them know how important it is. Things like measures that you can take to maintain your kidney.
Right.
You understand the importance of water. The importance of fruits like beetroots. To regulate your blood pressure. I believe I did everything from proper medicines from the doctor to natural to herbs to drinking or anything I see on Instagram. My entire timeline was all about kidney. Everything I see is kidney. You know how Instagram algorithm works? Yes, everything was kidney. So I have fresh juice every day. It was just a lot, but I want to continue to spread the awareness, to think about it and speak about everything from even challenges that we as patients face with our doctors. How, some doctors use too many big grammars to confuse patients and everything. As doctors too, they all need to also be patient to this thing. I know that from experience, a lot of people, young people, even people, young adults, millennials, they are very scared of going to the hospital. Why? Because these doctors speak big grammar. But for my own doctor, the moment I stepped into his office and the way he consulted with me, I knew in that moment that told my sister, cancel the plans for India, cancel Germany. We're not going there anymore. I'm doing my surgery in Lagos and with this doctor. I even told my doctor that, doctor, I'm doing my surgery with you. Let me go into town. Let me go and hustle my kidney. When I get the kidney, I'll come back to you to do my this thing. That confident guy said, I love your confidence. Yeah, that's what I told him. That I'm going to look for my, as if say the kidney, they want basket with the keeper. Where I won't go because he see me. Which kind of man? Now that I find kidney for over a year. Oh.
If it's tough. Is it tough?
I not agree.
You don't agree?
No, I don't agree.
One of the things, we're about to end this podcast because, we've really spent time and it's an amazing conversation. This is one of the conversations that I was looking forward to in this season. I'm so glad that we did it.
I'm so happy to share with you and share with all of the people that's full. And I hope that my story sort of inspires people, and
to do better with
their health. Now I am very, very health conscious. I care about my body. I care about how I feel. I will never go back to having a headache. I want to just go and take paracetamol. I can't take anything now. Now, if I have a headache, I'm either sleeping it off or drinking a lot of water and sleeping. I know better now. And I want to do better with my health. And I want to spread the gospel to it so people can also do better. And I also want to, advise people to also have a close knit of people. Yes, it's good to have friends all around, know everybody, but ensure to have those people who really have real life conversations with you, real life conversations about your being, a real life conversation about faith, real life conversation about what you believe in, real life conversation about what is important, And I try not to be shy about even opening up to those ones that I consider my own.
Yeah.
Try not to hide anything from them and open because you never really can tell, where your help is coming from. So one has to just be open, but we are all still human beings. You still be scared. Should I just be open like this? Should I be open like? But if you really listen to your inner being and with God on your side, I believe that you would make the right decision when it comes to who to open up with and everything. But I'm eternally grateful to have a second chance to be able to do things and do things right with excellence. Yeah.
Delivery.
Oh yeah.
Rabadosh. I love it. Yeah. I love it so much. Like you literally, I don't even know what questions to ask again. Like, this is so profound. This conversation is so good to me, or good for me and good for the audience and whoever's going to listen to it.
And I'm so happy.
Before I let you go, finally, it feels like you've been given a new life, right?
A new lease to life.
A new lease to life. So what's this your new life now? What's next for you in terms of like work and...
My friends call it Efe Tommy 2.0.
Yes. Efe Tommy 2.0. Yeah. What's next for him?
There is everything. So, of course, my foundation is like a baby to me. I treasure it so much. I'm still building on it and building on the team around it. There's so much that we want to do, which we are planning. And then, of course, my agency that I've left so much for so long.
Yeah.
Now we are doing a lot of things, of course, special events and special activations as usual to create experiences for brands that we take them to wow spaces.
Yeah.
So we are very much on that. We have a very wholesome team that are thinkers and we really think. So it's not just picking up a brand from the floor. We really pick your brand, really see where your brand ethos and the vision of a brand is. And then we create experiences to really elevate it. And so far so good. I think that we are doing well, And, one thing that I used to really think that, when I come out of that, will I still be like in a nightlife space and everything? Yes, I will be here. I will still do it, deliver it with excellence. I will still do other businesses, deliver with excellence and everything. And with God on my side, we will see ourselves in the future. And I know that, with God standing right behind which he had never left me, I would do really, really great things.
Amazing.
Really, really great things.
Thank you so much, Efe, for coming on this podcast.
I'm so happy to be here. This is like a full circle moment for us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whew, guys.
I really, really enjoyed it.
That's it, Efe Tommy. Thank you so much for coming. Guys, I can sit down with Efe and talk for like 5-6 hours. That's Efe. Yeah. But I feel like this conversation is just enough. Everything that needed to be said was said. I'm glad that you came on the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So guys, this is a podcast that you should share with your friends. Tell your friends to tell their friends that, we had this conversation. YouTube, please subscribe. Spotify, AudioMac, all the platforms. We're going to distribute everywhere. Just listen. You never can tell what you learn.
And be blessed.